Hello and welcome to Lesson 4 in the Unit 4 Modern Medicine aspect of the Medicine Through Time course. Today we're going to be looking at how treatment and prevention changed in the 20th century. We're going to start off by having a look at how treatments have changed. Across the course of the 20th century, our ability to tackle infectious diseases improved dramatically. Hence, today's deaths from infectious disease has fallen to less than 1%. However, this is not to say that we have now conquered disease. In fact, scientists face many problems when developing new treatments. Firstly, whilst our current antibiotics can tackle bacterial infections, they cannot be used to treat viruses. Scientists need to develop new vaccines each year in response to new virus strains of illnesses like the flu. Furthermore, some microbes have developed antibiotic resistance, such as MRSA, and new diseases keep on appearing, which require brand new treatments. Finally, in recent years, we've seen a rise in lifestyle-related diseases, such as heart disease or cancer, for which there are no certain cures. I'd like you now to turn to your Word document and complete the first 4 questions on the slide. Now we're going to focus on how the government's role in treatment and prevention has changed across the 20th century. Now, probably the most important thing the government did was to create the National Health Service, the NHS, which was created in 1948 and survives up until today. The creation of the NHS as part of post-war Britain's welfare state marked the true end of the government's laissez-faire attitude. The NHS saw the government accept their role in ensuring the health of their citizens. The aim of the NHS was to provide medical care for the entire population of Britain. This would be free at the point of access, meaning you'd no longer be charged to visit your GP, for example. The NHS would be funded through national insurance contributions, which is a sort of tax taken from your wages. Although the huge cost of running the health service meant the introduction of some small charges in the 1950s, like prescription charges, the NHS remains free to all. The government initially thought it would just fund the NHS and not really have a role in its management, but the poor state of some hospitals and GPs meant the government quickly took a management role in order to improve services. I'd now like you to turn again to your Word document and to answer the questions on the board. To improve your knowledge about the NHS a bit further, I'd recommend watching this little clip here. Whilst the NHS is the primary way most people in Britain receive treatment, it is only one element of the actions the government takes to prevent disease. And now we're going to move on to investigate that. One of the most important things the government does is vaccinate the population. So you'll have all had your BCG and your polio and your HPV and all the rest of those. And despite the growing anti-vax movement that's occurring worldwide, scientists have successfully wiped out some diseases through vaccination, like think of smallpox, for example. Another thing the government does, which has been having a lot of news coverage lately, is laws to ensure we have a healthy environment. Like since the Volkswagen emissions scandal and all the rest that followed from that, there's been a new focus on ensuring clean air in Britain. In fact, one of the good things about our current lockdown situation is that British air quality has massively improved. But this kind of government intervention to ensure a healthy environment isn't new. Just think back to the 1848 and the 1875 Public Health Acts. Finally, the government also plays a key role in communicating health risks to the public. Everything around hand washing and isolation, all of that that's happening at the moment is a great example of the government communicating health risks. But also think back to government health campaigns such as Change for Life, which tries to tackle obesity, or any of those creepy anti-smoking adverts you might have seen in the past. So now turn back to your Word document and you need to complete the 2 tasks that are on the board. In order to learn a little bit more about some of the government's lifestyle campaigns, follow the hyperlinks that are on here. Go on YouTube and watch some of the famous health campaigns. Then copy the table down and note down the similarities and differences of the government's approach to communicating these health risks. As a final activity to develop your understanding of lifestyle campaigns, see if you can note down a few. And your last activity today to complete the lesson is to complete this flow diagram here, comparing public health in 1900 and public health in 1950.